Bob Saget. Bob, can you hear us?
I can, and I'm going to be here every day from now on. I'm flying to Orlando in just a couple hours, and tomorrow morning I'll just be on Zoom. I don't want to bother you in the studio. I'll just be here. I'm going to wear a tank top and have people make fun of
it. Hey, do you get nervous about flying now? Does that freak you out at all?
I get nervous just going to the market. No, flying's easy. Actually, they say that this thing, my wife knows a lot about this. There's a thing called a HEPA filter, and it's a filter that goes in. They tell you this. I guess it's true. And it gives you cleaner air.
I don't agree with this, Bob. This is like doctors telling you smoking cigarettes with filters was better for you.
Yeah.
I know.
I've also dropped some nasty rank farts that I know that HEPA filter ain't going to do nothing, and then I see people reacting. So it's not doing anything,
I'm
Bob.
upset with you because this is not what you should be doing. You're one of the people that is ruining my life. I'm on a plane, and you're not even asleep. You're doing it. You know you go to the bathroom.
I had milk.
You just
I had milk.
15.
You know you're lactose intolerant.
I'm lactose intolerant, and I had a little bit of milk before my last flight. And yes, I ruined some people's trip. But
tell the truth, you're breastfeeding. Am I right?
Yes, that is well.
Okay, so now why can't you just walk to the bathroom? You feel it building up. Some comedians end with fart humor. I open with it.
Yes, you do.
That's got to be a thing, though, Bob. Where like people are. It sounds crazy, but I bet people do this. They're like, "Yo, that's a famous person over there. I'm gonna go and fart in their general area."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was in a Monty Python movie, The Holy Grail. That's when I believe it was Eric Idle that said, "I fart in your general direction." And then he
Bob,
was like going like this to send it over.
Earlier this morning when we first started the show, like at 6, which I guess where you're at, it would be 2 in the morning. You know, we were discussing. Glad that you were going to be on with us again today. And then we start talking about a podcast that it was Carrot Top and who was it, guys?
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan and Carrot Top were doing a podcast together, and we were talking about that and talking about how so many other comics will goof on and make fun of one of the nicest guys you would ever want to meet, which is Carrot Top, and why certain comics think it's a good idea to goof on other comics. And you've been a stand-up forever.
It's not a good idea. It's wrong. And actually, I've had this conversation. What was the outcome? Carrot Top came off great with Joe, right?
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. He's one of the kindest guys you've ever met, and very funny. And Ryan was pointing out that a lot of comics think because he uses props, it's cheating or something like that. Which he invents those things and puts them together. That's still creative. Well, I don't get it, but
Right.
What do you think?
I think the one thing he did that offended me was he got a mousetrap caught on his testicles, and I thought that was too much for the kids.
Too much.
But I will say that he goes to Vegas, he gets a residency, he sells it out constantly, and he's making thousands of people laugh. And anybody that's making thousands of people laugh and not doing anything with malice, he's just being silly. That's what he's done since he was probably 10. Just leave the guy alone. He's making people laugh. You can make people laugh, and it might not be your cup of tea, but you're doing something great for people. Laughing. That's why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
We all had the same joke, which was that laughter's the best medicine, and mine was no, it's Percocet. But that was, everybody's had a version of that. Or the other one is when they say, if you could just make one person laugh, you're a really crappy comic.
do you have a comedic nemesis, like someone in comedy that just is anti Bob Saget, like you just can't stand
Bob
Dave Coulier.
No, it would be Carrot Top. No, it would be.
Screw him.
I don't think I do. I've had misunderstandings with people, and I'm this kind of person. Maybe it was all the therapy. But I like to make amends. I like things to go well because I think we're all the same, pretty much of the same breed. We come from a place of outsiders. We were kids. We didn't know anybody. We would do things to be funny. Some people just had a God-given talent and were just amazing. So, I actually I don't have anybody. I
Good.
don't think.
I didn't think you would. I didn't think you would. Hey, you remember yesterday, Ryan Holmes? All he wanted to ask you about was the color of the font on Full House.
My
That was
God, you're so
okay.
obsessed.
So today he said all he could think about was wanting to ask you about the items that are on the table
Come on, man. Don't call me out
behind
like
you.
this.
And I'm like, you're gonna have Bob Saget on once again, one of the greatest comics in the world,
What are
and
you
you're
doing,
a stand-up
Ryan?
comic, and all you could think about is asking him about the items. So Ryan, there you go.
Let me say this. To be
Yeah.
fair, I wanted to yesterday too, but I held off but this is his second day in a row. So tell us what's behind you today, because tomorrow you'll be in Orlando.
It's our new segment. What's behind you, Bob?
I'm
Yeah,
gonna,
who's
and I'm
behind
gonna
Bob?
leave this camera on so you can cut to it and just look at the crap behind me. Over here, I'll start over here. That's Rodney Dangerfield. I got that from the UCLA Brain Center. I would go visit him as he was passing on, and they did surgery on his brain. And that's like heavier than a real award, but it's a really nice thing that they gave me. So these are my daughters. That's a thing from America's Funniest Home Videos that I gave out. That's from Ted Lasso, Believe.
Yeah.
This is the TV broadcast. What's the big TV broadcasters thing? It's I won that for America's Funniest
And you
Home
can't even
Videos.
remember what it is.
It's a suppository, and then that is Larry Fine of the Three Stooges.
Oh,
I knew him when
Oh,
I was
wow.
14 years old. That's a box that I keep things in that we don't talk about. And
That weed.
this is badly lit. It's Rodney Dangerfield with Red Fox. It's an original print
Wow.
done by Paul Mobley, and they're smoking a joint. And then these that's my daughter right there, and these are my daughters right there. And then these are bobbleheads from Dodger games. I can't name you one player, but I believe the size of their heads are exactly the same size as anyone who would ask, why do you have to change the font on Full House?
All right,
It's a
Bob,
tiny little head.
I got a real question for you, not about font though. Okay, so I've been doing comedy for a while, and I've always tried to explain to these guys what terrible people comedians can actually be. And you seem to be a comic. I mean, you hang out with Bill Burr and that kind of stuff. You said yesterday when you started, and then you got Full House. Did you get a lot of hate from fellow people, like, or was it all love back in the day? Because I tend to see comedians they'll be nice to your face, but then just talk all the s.
Well, before I got Full House, I'd been in the Comedy Store for 10 years. So I knew everybody, or a Comedy Cellar in New York, or toured the country. I went everywhere. And so I was in Orlando. I don't remember what I was doing. I think I was in the kiddie pool in Disney World. I can't remember. It was Splash Mountain. And no, I can't say what I'm going to say. But anyway, you'll have to come to the Hard Rock tomorrow. I'm really sorry. What happened was I had a couple of people go, Saget, you got 2 shows. Give me one of them. So but it was done out of jealousy because I had that 35 years ago. It was America's Funniest Home Videos and Full House. And Full House was first. And for the most part, I think I'd struggled so long and I'd emceed so long and all my friends went off on Arsenio, congrats on your show. And I would go on the show, but I didn't really have anything that had clicked for me. And Full House was the thing. And so I've talked to a lot of comedians on my podcast, and this is a podcast, but it is. You guys are everything. You guys are like a cow. Every part must be used.
Oh yeah, lot of teats, Bob. A lot of teats.
Ryan's the udders.
Hey, Bob. We got to take a little bit of a break. I want to ask you about that Comedy Store documentary that was out, because I was totally fascinated with it, and I know you were part of it, right? And
my friend Mike Binder directed it, but
it is. I was just, I love stand-up comedy and the comics, and I was just really blown blown away by it. So I want to get your take on that documentary. I want to remind everybody that Bob Saget will be at Hard Rock Live tomorrow, right here in Orlando. When do you fly out? When do you leave in
just in a couple hours. It's
okay.
It's nice. I'm gonna go on. It's a plane. It's got a rubber band and a propeller. It's new airline. It's one step below Allegiant.
Is there such thing? All right, well, we'll be back with Bob Saget when we return. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Monster of the Morning.